Hey, everybody. It's me, Felicia, and I want to thank you again for tuning in to my vlogs. Always remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so. And thank you for doing that. So today, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my vlog, I kind of went back and forth on what I should do. Should I talk about should I keep the Black History theme, which was what I was, the goal that I set out to do at the beginning of this month? Or should I go with talking about love because it is Valentine's Day week? I'm actually recording this on Valentine's Day, but you might not see it until Friday morning. And so I was like, should I do love? Should I do Black History? Should I do love? Should I do Black History? And I was like, well, I can do both. I can talk about Black love, and specifically, the reason why I even thought of doing Black love was because I thought of my grandparents on my mom's side, which I call them Big Mama and Big Daddy, but of course they were my grandmother and grandfather, and they were such a shining example of love and such positive parts of my personal history and even Black history. So my grandparents, I should have asked my mom. I don't remember what the year was that they got married, but I know it was a long time ago. And I'm pretty sure that they were married through, well, I know they were married through the whole civil rights thing and the whole Jim Crow era, but they lived a lot of life. And my grandfather actually was a sharecropper. By the time I was born, he was a school janitor. And pause for the cause. I have to have a sidebar with you about my grandfather, right? So, like, he is probably the best man I've ever met in my whole life. Like, he was amazing. And quite some time ago, I came across this video that somebody had posted. It was like a repost where there was this kind of significant figure in today's society who is like a CEO or whatever the case may be, a Black man, all love, all respect. He said something that I had a little problem with, and he was talking about no matter how much your children love you and admire you, that this is what he said, that, you can't be a hero to your children when your boss is in the room and there's some other person that is always telling you what to do, and that if you're not out there like making money and making a name for yourself or whatever. And I'm not quoting him word for word because I don't remember exactly what he said, but that was kind of his thing. Like, you have to be the boss, you have to be in charge or whatever to be significant to your children. I just gotta be honest with you, I do not agree with that, because like I said before, my grandfather during my lifetime was a sharecropper, and he was my hero. And I have came across people who were a little more famous, well, a lot more famous than him. People that have been on stages, people that have fans and sign autographs. And quite frankly, nobody has been like the only people that came close to Big Daddy to me, the only men that came close to being as awesome as Big Daddy to me were people that I knew who were good men. So, sidebar, this is just like, everybody ain't gonna be the boss, everybody ain't gonna be in charge, but the point is to walk in your purpose and to do it boldly, especially if you do it in a godly manner, and be an example to your children. That's how you become a hero. But back to what I was talking about. I remember, this is Black history to me. My grandparents are Black history to me because they were a couple that stayed together for over 50 years until my grandfather passed away when I was about 10 years old. And they were just a shining example of love. And I remember the first lesson that I learned about love from them, and I didn't really fully understand it, but the more I got older, the more I really understood what I learned was about service, right? So, because I remember when I was really, really young, my grandmother, of course, she was already old, She had broken her leg. You know, when an older person has a broken leg, really anybody, but especially with her, you know, it takes a long time to heal, and you know, that whole 9 yards. You don't get around too well or whatever. And I remember, because we went to their house every Sunday after church, that when Sunday dinner was ready, he would bring her plate to her in the living room. And I just remember thinking, at that time, it was more common for a woman to make a plate for a man. But when she needed that service, it wasn't nothing for him. Without complaining and faithfully, he brought her food to her. And then on the flip side of that, when he later on became ill, and I remember one of the things that he dealt with was cancer, how she did the same exact thing for him. And I remember, even after he passed away, and as I got older, she shared some things with me, and I learned about the forgiveness that comes along with love. And it's not that I heard anything super crazy about, you know, my grandfather, but it's just, when you have disagreements and stuff like that, you have to be willing to be like, you know, hey, I was wrong. And then the other person has to be like, okay, I forgive you. And you really move on from there. And you don't keep digging it up, you know, and going back over it. And, you know, so I learned so much about love, forgiveness, and being humble, and how much that means in making love work, and just being consistent, and being faithful, and being strong, and being godly, and how that all those things play a role in making love work and making marriage work. They raised so many children. They had 21 kids, you know, some died when they were younger, whatever. They raised 16 children that all love Jesus to this day. And that's kind of amazing. That's a lot of kids. And, you know, being a sharecropper, of course, they, you know, they were farming, you know, so that, I guess that helped with the feeding of the children. But I remember my grandfather worked, and, you know, I guess just this year, maybe last year, I found out that he even had other jobs, you know, that he did aside from that to help, you know, do what he had to do to raise his children. It was never complaining or anything like that I saw. That, you know, I just, when I was around my grandparents, I just saw so much love and so much respect and so much service and so much humility and so much God, you know. And they have been the shining examples of what I want my love life to be like, and what I want marriage to be like, which is kind of a hard thing to come by in 2019, because people ain't really out here trying to serve the other person anymore. Everybody goes into relationships trying to figure out, what is this person gonna do for me? And nobody is like, you know, but I say that to say, you know, we have a lot of examples of, we have a lot of people that we look at today for examples, and people that we call relationship goals. And they're just not goals to me, because of this simple fact that historically, you know, I have people in my life that have been powerful examples of what love should really look like. And it really boils down to having a relationship with God, and then just like copying and pasting that to your relationship with people, with the people that you love. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys pretty much today. And I'm just so happy. Like, I feel like I know some very powerful people, you know, having known them. I wanted to get my mom on the video to talk more about them, but of course she is not a camera person, so I can only give you my, you know, experience of them from, you know, childhood, and what I learned from them, and how awesome. I mean, oh my goodness, my grandparents were the best grandparents in the world. And I'm probably gonna re-record this now.